Let's head into the papers now, see what the headlines are saying across Nigeria today. And I have with me two gentlemen to make sense out of the headlines and what all of these stories on the front pages are trying to get to us. And I have with me public affairs analyst Richard Amoa. He's here with me. Richard, it's good to see you. And I also have a lawyer and another analyst, Jide Ologun, one of our regulars. Thank you so much for coming.
Morning.
All right, let's begin with Vanguard. Our fears for future polls in Nigeria, U.S. bodies. And the presidency insists Buhari won 2019 polls, false NDI, IRI reports. Defense suspension of ex-CJN Onoge. We're not children, we can take care of ourselves, APC saying that. NDI, IRI reports show presidential election was rigged. That's the PDP saying that. You can find all that on the front page of the Vanguard. From there, let's go to The Nation. The Nation is the next one now. Security chiefs may go as governors seek new ideas. NEC meets tomorrow. Burate indicts troops and FCO updates travel advice, rather. You can find all that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Right, let's move now to the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun is our next paper now. Burate indicts soldiers fighting Boko Haram, accuses them of indiscipline, lack of commitment. Okay, you can find that on the front page of the Daily Sun. The next paper now is the Blueprint. And Blueprint says, Ganduje on Al-Majiri, child marriage. Parents risk arrest and prosecution. Says, begging not Islamic. Okay, you can find that on the front page of the Blueprint. From there, let's go to This Day. This Day is the next one. Now, officers, men at the front lines not sufficiently committed, says Burate. That's the Chief of Army Staff. You can find that on the front page of This Day. News Direct is the next paper we'll go to now. The Nigerian News Direct says, Kano, Rivers, 19 others not safe. UK warns citizens. And presidency keeps mum on this. Okay. The last paper we'll be treating this morning is The Guardian. The Guardian says UK warns against travel to 21 states in Nigeria. And panic grips core members as Taraba State boils. Armed men stopped, searched our vehicle for ethnic group. 13 allegedly killed in fresh attacks on 2 councils. And we've mapped plans for participant safety, says NYSC. Okay, you can find all that on the front page of The Guardian. Gentlemen, some of the stories this morning that certainly Nigerians will have concern has to do with the Chief of Army Staff saying that some of the soldiers or officers on the front line are not as committed as he would want. I like the way This Day puts it. Officers, men at the front lines not sufficiently committed, says Burate. Richard, I'd like to start with you because this is your number one constituency. How troubling is this to you when the Chief of Army Staff, you know, tells the world that some of his men, his subordinates, are not sufficiently committed?
First of all, I'm not surprised about that.
Okay.
Because when you continue to wonder why this war is not abating, why we keep having the issue of Boko Haram, and it just says something. It tells you something. We read in the past where some arrested Boko Haram says that even before the army takes any decisions, you know, the camp of Boko Haram knew about it. So meaning that something is going wrong. And how do you get a soldier to be committed? You get soldier to be committed by doing what is right to them, by giving them what they want. We read on social media every time here. I don't know how it gets to the social media, how the army are being treated, how this is done.
Lots of videos go viral of how they don't have, sometimes our welfare is not taken care of, and all of that. But on the other hand, the army has given us also, told Nigerians how materials and weapons are provided for the soldiers.
Yes, who told us? Those are the chief of defense staff and all those stuff. But what of the junior one? Have they told us exactly what's on ground? You and I don't know what is on ground, except our reporter who is at the other side. But let the truth be told. I think the army seems to be professional. Because as a security practitioner and consultant, I feel that once you take a job that you want to be an army, you must defend, because your goal is to defend your father's land. So no matter what, I think they should put that one. But again, they go interwoven. Your welfare, my commitment and everything, they are they're interwoven.
The work hand in hand.
Work in hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jide, let me come to you on this. The point there is, some people would say issues within the military sometimes, it's like the military is a world of its own where some things that happen are internal to it to a great extent. And when the Chief of Army Staff tells the world that some of his men are not committed enough, some would say, we understand the command system in the army, he should have known all these things all the while.
Firstly, I think that is an indictment on his office. Because in human capital management, he's expected to inspire his workforce to deliver, because the mandate of the Ministry of Defense is to come up with policies that will be implemented towards the maximum security of the country. And here is a failure. And I don't want to, I just must commend him for coming out to express the suspicion of many of us. I have confidence in the capacity of our security apparatus. I mean, they've excelled internationally. But let me go to content analysis. I think there are deeper issues behind Boko Haram we need to unearth for those who are dealing with the intelligence angle. And it has to do with even the position of our leaders. Politically speaking, I recall that in 2012, the present President Muhammad Buhari, whom I respect so much, because he lost the election of 2011, threatened that dogs and monkeys would be soaked in blood if he did not win the 2015 election. He also said then, on the opposition side, that there were 3 types of Boko Haram, alluding to the comment of, I think, Angu Abdullahi. The federal government as Boko Haram, criminals who are killing people as Boko Haram, and the one that Mohammed Yusuf started in Borno State. It's on record. Go and see. In 2013, he brought in the regional angle that can help us to solve these problems. He said in June 2013 that clampdown on Boko Haram is an injustice to the north, that they were being killed, their houses demolished, making comparison to the amnesty given to the Niger Delta militants. So I think if the elders want to help this nation, we need to address all these issues. I do not see us united to enjoy the good of this land, and this hatred is spreading. So
you think that is what is at the core of this?
If you ask me, somebody is supposed to be commanding the security apparatus.
We have to look at it critically, because the issue there is, if you take it from the issue of if the elders really want this thing done, the people who are killed, there is everybody is feeling the brunt.
Let me also bring,
especially in the
let me bring one that is close to us, closer. Imagine the comment of the governor of Kaduna State towards the foreign observers coming to observe elections, a mere democratic process. And he threatened that if they unduly intervene, they will return in body bags. So what message are you sending into the atmosphere? When you sow violence, you reap whirlwind. So my position as a concerned Nigerian is that I think our leaders are about to fail us, and they must come together. Whatever differences they have, they should resolve it. Okay. And these are deeper. We have the ideological issues. Look at people being killed on a daily basis.
Okay, quickly, Richard, the point is, when it comes to handling this issue, that's your constituency. Quickly, just in few seconds, how do you think this issue should be handled when it comes to commitment in the rank and file?
When it comes to commitment, I think, like we said, the government need to do what they need to do to motivate the rank and files. The rank and file just needs a whole lot of encouragement. And again, the chief of that's the Brutai, Chief of Army Staff really needs to get involved with his subordinates to make sure that the rank and files are happy. I think that's where we're going to get the commitment. So
the morale has to be boosted, one way or the other.
That's right.
Richard Amoah, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And Jide Ologun, thank you very much as well.
Thank you. I have with me in the studio journalist Dare Odufowokon and lawyer and public affairs analyst Jide Ologun. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Good morning. All right, we head straight to the papers now, and I start with the Vanguard. Our fears for future polls in Nigeria. U.S. bodies speaking there. Presidency insists Buhari won 2019 polls. Faults NDI IRI reports. Defense suspension of ex-CJ and Onore. We are not children, we can take care of ourselves, APC. NDI, IRI reports show presidential election was rigged, PDP. And to the front page of the Nation newspaper, security chiefs may go as governors seek new ideas. NEC meets tomorrow. Burate indicts troops. FCO updates travel advice. And to the front page of the Daily Sun, Burate indicts soldiers fighting Boko Haram, accuses them of indiscipline, lack of commitment. And to the blueprint now, Ganduje on Almajiri child marriage. Parents risk arrest prosecution, says begging not Islamic. All right, we'll be looking at that shortly. And to the front page of this day newspaper, officers, men at the front lines not sufficiently committed, says Burate. And to the Nigerian News Direct, Kano, Rivers, 19 others not safe. UK wants citizens. Presidency keeps mum. And to the front page of The Guardian, UK warns against travel to 21 states in Nigeria. Panic grips core members in Taraba State boils. Armed men stopped search all our vehicles for ethnic group. 13 allegedly killed in fresh attacks on 2 councils with mapped plans for participants' safety, says NYSC. All right, gentlemen, we'll be looking at the story on the front page of the blueprint where the governor of Kano State, Ganduje, is saying that parents risk arrest, prosecution if they do not send their children to schools. Well, he promised free education during his inauguration at the second term, swearing in rather at the second term, and he said there's free education. Now, when you look at Kano State, or the north, basically, how easy would this be for him to implement?
The Chinese said that the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So I must commend that awareness that education is important, because what has been associated with that region of the country lately is the fight against education. But how easy it will be is a different question, because have we built the culture of embracing education? And I know that the Emir of Kano has spoken from time to time, emphasizing the need for formal education, not just Islamic education, because if you look at the terrible cases we have now of the Almanjiris that were dedicated to Islamic education and meant to go and cater for themselves. And from begging, quite a number of them are going to banditry now. And the banditry is crippling the societal fabric, the economy, and bringing abject poverty. So if right now he chooses as the leader in Kano to bring light and education, I think I welcome him, and I hope it will be sustained. Like somebody said, that if you think education is expensive, then try ignorance. And these are the results of ignorance. You may choose your actions, but not the consequences. So if he drives through and begins to change the mindset, because he has a lot to deal with, the ideology, the thinking pattern, the fact that you need to even accept that education is relevant. It's crucial also. So we wish him the best and hope that other governors in that region we embrace that paradigm shift.
All right, Dare, this issue of child marriage education are issues that were covered by the child rights law, which about 12 states have not yet adopted, a majority in the north, and Kano is one of them. And this coming from the governor. I mean, how do you see this?
Yeah, that's where I have issues with the sincerity, in quotes,
Of purpose.
of Mr. Governor in Kano State now. I think to show commitment and to send the right signal to the people who will be the subject of his proposed action, the parents of these children, is to first work towards his state adopting this act. He should place Kano on the list of those states that are ready to ensure that children across the state are entitled to their rights, of which education is a major one. of which the negation of child marriage is a major one. But if his state is yet to do that, and he's talking about imposing punishments on parents, I think he needs, he still has a lot to do to get to the stage we want to jump straight to now. Aside the issue of even adopting this act, is the issue of orientation. We understand that this issue of not going to school by children of school age, as well as child marriage, are issues that currently borders on religion and culture.
Yeah.
Especially in a state like Kano. While clerics, Islamic clerics precisely, have continually said these things are un-Islamic. Yet, we find the major people practicing this to be clerics themselves. Children, 3, 4, 5-year-old are sent away from home to go join an Islamic teacher, stay with him, go through Islamic education, strive for his own survival in the name of preparing him to be a good Muslim. While clerics, learned clerics have said, look, this is not how it should be. I think the governor, in getting to achieve what he intends to do, will have to do something. And that is, he should not just give an open blanket statement like education is free, all of you must go to school. If you don't go to school, we will punish your parents. No, rather, he should begin a process, an open process, known to all, of marrying Islamic education with formal education for all to see in a way that
possible
I'll explain that.
would that be?
Let me explain that. In a way that it will make parents to see that in as much as your children are in this formal school, they will also get Islamic education. It is being done even in Lagos here. There are schools that are Islamic schools, though privately owned, that runs Islamic education alongside formal education, and it's being done. If the governor can convince his people that your children will still get Islamic education,
would that be the right way to go?
It will help.
Yes,
Marrying both formal and Islamic
you cannot
education.
rule out the power of education, and I challenge the governor and all the leaders. Are their children Almanjiris? If they send their children abroad to be educated, if they mean well for their children and they subject society to this negative mindset.
Are they the ones subjecting society, or people have refused to accept?
Leadership is crucial. Somebody introduced free education to this country. The Abraham Lincolns of this world, we said it, John Lyndon introduced the Great Society concept in the US in 1964. Leaders transform societies. So, and I hope that they must realize that to be relevant in this age we are, you must add value to the people. And of course, I asked this question, the gadgets we use, the vehicles we use, are they not products of education? And education is not a threat to religion. It helps religion.
It is not enough to blame the leaders for this. The people must also be ready to change their mindset.
All right,
especially
the people, which is very important. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your contribution. On the newspaper review, we have to go.